A day after winning the majority government, Prime Minister Mark Carney is holding a news conference right now in Ottawa. Let's listen in.
Place their trust in Canada's new government's plan. We accept their support with humility, determination, and a clear understanding of what this moment demands for our country. Afin de répondre aux attentes des Canadiens en temps de rapidité et d'ampleur. Le travail qui nous attend nécessite de la collaboration, du partenariat et de l'ambition. C'est ainsi que nous continuerons à gouverner. Nous travaillerons avec tous les partis et tiendrons compte de tous les points de vue au Parlement. The world is more divided and dangerous. The impacts of foreign conflicts and accelerating technological change are increasingly being felt here at home. And Canada's new government will continue to focus on what we can control, building a strong Canadian economy, diversifying our trading partners abroad to increase our independence and support our prosperity, delivering responsible fiscal management, and supporting Canadians who are under pressure from everyday expenses, with a boost today and a bridge to a better tomorrow. We've been moving fast and we're getting results. Nous avons établi 20 partenariats économiques et de sécurité sur
20 trade and security partnerships on 5 continents in less than a year.
15 nation-building initiatives that will create over 500,000 jobs and drive over $100 billion in new investment. Our new defence industrial strategy will catalyze $500 billion of investment to build Canadian industry from aerospace to AI, while creating over 125,000 new jobs. Build Canada Homes has already committed to deals for over 10,000 new homes, and it's just getting started. Through the new Build Communities Strong Fund, we'll work with provinces and municipalities to build new hospitals, public transit, and community centres. Because Canada Strong means Kelowna strong, Brampton strong, et Laval fort. And this fund will also lower costs for Canadians. For example, slashing taxes and charges on new homes in Ontario by up to $200,000. We're building Canada into an energy superpower with measures to double the size of our electricity grid and harness our immense natural resources for reliable, affordable, clean power for all Canadians. Nous bâtissons un Canada fort. Un Canada qui n'est pas réservé à quelques-uns, mais qui est pour tous.
That is reserved for just a few, but for everyone at all times.
We'll build a Canada that's not just strong, but good. Not just prosperous, but fair. Not just for some most of the time, but for all of the time. We're building big, we're moving fast, and we're just getting started. But we also know that the road ahead will not always be straight. There'll be bumps, steep climbs along the way, and some of the payoffs from these big investments will take some time to be realized. And we know that Canadians are feeling the pressures of everyday expenses right now. We know they need a boost today and a bridge to tomorrow. And that's why Canada's new government has been relentlessly focused on making life more affordable for Canadians. We started as we meant to go on. On the first day, we canceled the divisive consumer carbon tax, driving prices down on gas by 18 cents per litre. We cut taxes for 22 million middle-class Canadians, saving families up to $840. Cut taxes on first-time home buyers, saving up to $50,000 by the elimination of GST on new homes priced under $1 million. More than 12 million Canadians will have more money in their bank accounts this summer, up to $1,800 per family through our new Canada Groceries and Essentials benefit. 5 millions de Canadiens et Canadiennes à faible revenu vont obtenir les prestations auxquelles ils ont droit grâce au lancement de versement automatique de prestations fédérales.
Automatic federal benefits.
100 000 enfants ont accès à des repas sains
And school children have access to healthy meals while their parents save $800 in tax because we've made the National Food Program permanent. And our new strategic partnership with China, we will have tens of thousands of Chinese electric vehicles, affordable ones in Canada. We strengthen our telecommunications sector to reduce the cost of access to internet, high-speed internet for Canadians. For you.
Now, we all know that because of the war with Iran, fuel prices have increased sharply around the world, including right here in Canada. So we're taking more action to help build that bridge over short-term pressures. With the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Natural Resources, we're announcing today that Canada's new government will temporarily suspend the federal fuel excise tax from next Monday until Labor Day. We're also removing the fuel excise tax on aviation fuels. This will remove up to 10 cents per litre on gasoline and 4 cents per litre on diesel fuel. Combined with our earlier elimination of the consumer carbon tax, our government will have reduced fuel prices on gas by up to 28 cents per litre. That's real relief for you and your family at the end of the day. Now, to be clear, today's cut to the fuel excise tax is a responsible, temporary measure consistent with what it takes to build a stronger economy, a more affordable economy, combined with sound fiscal management. When Canadians are facing financial pressures, they carefully manage their expenses, and they expect their government to do the same. That's why in Budget 2025, we made responsible choices to save Canadian taxpayers a total of $60 billion over 5 years. We're spending less on government operations so Canadians can invest more to build a brighter future for all. That responsible budgeting keeps your interest rates down, and it ensures we can protect the programs that make life more affordable for those who need it the most, including childcare, dental care, pharmacare, and school food programs. In the coming weeks, the Minister of Finance will present the Spring Economic Update with the next steps in our plan to build a stronger, more independent, more resilient Canada that works for all. En cette période de bouleversement mondiaux, les Canadiens et Canadiennes se rappellent
global uncertainty period, Canadians, remember the teachings of last year. We have to rely on one another, support one another, and we must help one another.
We can't control what other countries do. We can control what we choose to do, and we choose to build a Canada strong for all Canadians. Thank you very much, and I look forward to your questions. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Merci, Monsieur le Premier ministre. Ça va maintenant passer aux questions. Première question, Gillian.
Hi, Prime Minister. Gillian Piper with Global News. You've been able to obtain a majority in large part thanks to 5 floor crossers, which the Conservatives have labeled as anti-democratic. Are you concerned the way you got your majority will erode Canadians' trust in our democracy?
Well, first, I'd point to the election results last night. We have a majority now in the House of Commons, thanks to the electors in Scarborough Southwest, in Terrebonne, and in University Rosedale. And as concerns individual deputies who make a choice to support the government's program at this crucial time for the country, whether they're from whatever political stripe, orientation, geographic region they come, consistent with the government program, we're fortunate to have them, and we're moving forward together with them.
But the by-elections last night were in Liberal holds, so you didn't gain any new seats.
Well, I mean, Terrebonne, as-tu vu, Terrebonne, normalement.
Did you see? Terrebonne.
Ouais. OK.
Okay.
Dans le jugement du Cour suprême, ce n'est pas un liberal
Supreme
hold.
Court. It's not a liberal hold. First point. Secondly,
c'est un résultat différent.
Traditionally, it's a different result. And with regards to, in all cases, the proportion of votes for the Liberal Party greatly increased.
It's a strong vote in favor of those individual deputies. And I would remind that we are in a parliamentary democracy. Canadians elect the deputies. We're fortunate that we have 3 outstanding new deputies as part of our governing caucus: Dolly Begum, Daniel Martin, and Tatiana Auguste, and that we accept the results, as I said at the start, with both humility but also determination, because it's a vote for the government's plan, those deputies, and for the government plan. We know we need to continue to work with all parliamentarians. We will do so. Work with all premiers, which we will do so. Work for all Canadians.
Next question. Prochaine question.
Mickey with Politico. The Finland president is in town. We saw you running with him in London. You both love ice hockey. You also quoted President Stubb in your Davos speech. So what do you value most about your friendship with President Stubb?
Well, wow. As in my role, I mean, he's a remarkable individual. He has many talents. He's a triathlete as well. I'm not going to be doing any triathlons with President Stubb. That would be quite embarrassing from my perspective. But what we value as a country is the deep relationship we have with Finland, the alignment we have on just a huge range of issues, from the coalition of the willing to support Ukraine, to helping to develop out of this disorder, and I don't think that's too strong a word, disorder in the international system, to rebuild a better system that works for the people of Canada, the people of Finland, the people of the world. And we will have quite extensive discussions both about specific bilateral areas of cooperation, but also about how we can build stronger together.
Now that you secured a parliamentary majority, do you have the mandate you need to govern, or will you call in an election in response to those who suggest the majority is not legitimate?
Well, I'd refer to my earlier answer. We live in a parliamentary democracy. Canadians elect deputies. Deputies vote with their conscience and support the program that they see best for their constituents and for the country. We do have a parliamentary majority now, and that is the product in the last 24 hours of strong support, increasing support for those deputies, the Liberal candidates, in those 3 ridings.
So not considering calling an election?
Not considering calling an election. Absolutely. I think very clearly Canadians want government to govern, to take action on immediate concerns such as today, which is what we're doing on affordability. And I would note that the first thing we're doing as a minority government is continuing to attack affordability challenges that we know Canadians are facing, while we're building a stronger economy. So we have that ability to move forward, and we'll continue to work with Parliament in order to put our plan in action. Monsieur.
Prochaine question.
Bonjour, Monsieur Carney, Christian Noël de Radio-Canada. Déjà, les conservateurs vous aidaient et ne faisaient pas beaucoup d'obstructions dans les dossiers économiques. Donc, vous n'aviez pas de problème à faire avancer ces dossiers-là. Maintenant que vous avez une majorité, concrètement, quels sont les sujets, les dossiers que vous allez faire, que vous allez accélérer et que vous aviez besoin d'accélérer?
Merci, Monsieur Noël, pour
Thank you, Mr. Noël, for your question.
Il y a plusieurs priorités, mais
There are many priorities, but I will emphasize 3. First, affordability. So our first initiative is this bill, the Ways and Means, to lower excise tax on gas and diesel. And that's first. And then, housing. We have a bill before the chamber for the House to build houses and big projects, our major projects, to accelerate the approval of implementing big projects like Contracteur from coast to coast to coast in Canada.
If the question in terms of economic priorities, I'd say I'd highlight 3. In fairness to Mr. Noël, it wasn't specifically on economic priorities, but was the preamble. First, affordability. There's this initiative here that goes directly to affordability concerns. Secondly, working to accelerate our housing program and our community build program. There's a bill before the House on Build Canada Homes, the structure for Build Canada Homes, which will help accelerate at scale these projects. And thirdly, the large projects. But I'd add one more, si je peux ajouter une quatrième. Et ce sera donc la mise en jeu économique dans quelques semaines.
On
met l'accent sur Canada, des initiatives afin de d'assurer que le progrès du Canada bénéficie tous les Canadiens et les Canadiennes.
Progress benefits all Canadians.
To put it in English, we're putting in place a series of measures. Some will have short-term payoffs. Many will have payoffs in a few years. The bigger projects, the bigger initiatives, we have to change fundamentally our economy to be stronger, more independent, more prosperous. But we want to make sure that those benefit all Canadians. And in the spring update, which the minister will in due course announce the timing for, and the initiatives, of course, in that, you'll see more emphasis on taking where we're going with the economy and making sure that it benefits all Canadians.
Vous avez maintenant une majorité. Vous avez des nouveaux députés. Vous avez du temps devant vous maintenant.
You have time ahead of you, 3 years.
Songez-vous à un remaniement ministériel d'ici l'été et pourquoi?
What will you do by summer with your ministers? My plan is not to have a cabinet shuffle. I have the great fortune of having a capable cabinet, and there's a lot of work to do. And Mr. Noel, this is a more general point. We want to govern. We want to act. We have to move forward. That's the mandate from Canadians.
Next question.
Next question.
Minister, Kate McKenna from CBC. I just wanted to push you a little bit on that question from my colleague. Some of the things you mentioned, housing, gas tax, major projects, these are all things that have received either rhetorical or legislative support from the Conservatives. So what specifically can you advance that you weren't previously able to advance with the minority government?
Well, we've had a variety of issues over the course of the Parliament where things have taken longer than they necessarily would, where debates have been more performative than actual debates around substance. I don't want to read into the record, although other deputies in Parliament did read into the record their love of cats and dogs and but these are examples. These are real examples in committee. You get the pleasure of covering committees, and I ask you, and I say this as someone who's testified to committees in front of the Canadian Parliament, in front of the UK Parliament for decades. There's a difference between real testimony, real substance, getting to issues, debating aspects of law, advancing. That's the job of parliamentarians, and showboating. We're going to have less of that. We're going to have more substance. I think all parliamentarians, in the end, will appreciate that, even if it's a change for some of them. Ça c'est un changement. C'est un changement d'attitude, de manière.
A change in attitude.
Dans le comité, par exemple.
In the committees, for example.
Voulez-vous une réponse en français ou non?
Do you want an answer in French or not? Yes? Okay.
Il faut écouter.
You have to listen.
C'est pour vous, monsieur.
It's for you, sir.
Mais non, sérieusement, c'est un aspect, c'est un changement de la gestion ou la manière.
Change in the management or the way of committees.
Des débats de substance,
to hold
de performance.
Debates of substance and not performance. And we've seen many examples of performance
En automne, mais
in the fall.
C'est le temps d'être sérieux.
But now it's time to be serious. And we will be serious.
We've been listening to Prime Minister Mark Carney holding a press conference in Ottawa this morning, talking about not only his government securing a majority government, but also answering questions from reporters. We're going to have a lot more on the Prime Minister's comments throughout the morning.